On PurplePoring, I'm usually sitting in Masters towards the end of a set because I stopped playing, but occasionally I'll get GM during, set 7 or set 8.
How do you feel about this set, first off, just from a competitive standpoint?
So far, I'm hopeful. Obviously, it's just the first patch. I didn't play that much PvE. I played enough to try and learn all the units and all of that good stuff. Especially with this set, there's charms, which we can re-roll for the charms that we kind of want to see and make some skill expressive determinations of what we pick and what we pass. If that and the usual units, augments, fates are the things that the TFT team needs to balance, I think it's going to be a pretty good set competitively.
How is preparing to play in a tournament different from preparing to like cast TFT?
So I think we start with the similarities, which is that I need to know the game. I need to know how to, analyze things about the game, what people are doing, where they're going with comps and all of that good stuff. I need to know like the basics of the stats that pretty much every competitive player and caster needs to know at least the differences come when I'm like preparing to cast. I pay a lot more attention to everyone else that's going to be playing because I'm not in the game. Like I'm just going to be like looking at their stuff, looking at how they play, like looking at stats, how they're performing in the tournament overall, point totals towards the end of a tournament, and who needs to place where to win or get top four or whatever. Things like that. And I don't care about any of that stuff when I'm playing in a tournament. So I'm just focused on my knowledge, my skill set, how I'm playing, how I'm doing, like whether I'm tired, whether I need to, whether I got enough sleep, whether I'm like mentally prepared, like figuring how to detail myself after an eighth, things like that.
How do you feel about the current meta, and how comfortable are you feeling playing on this patch?
Yeah, I think I'm not super excited about the meta. Like, I don't know. I think I saw a tweet earlier that was like the top 3 or 4 or 5 comps are all Syndra comps.
Mm-hmm.
So I've played enough Syndras to be comfortable with it, but I also know I have not played nearly as many games as a lot of people that will be playing in this tournament, and therefore there will be a lot more people that have more experience and more knowledge and more ability to flex around Syndra. If there's a lot of others non-Syndra comps that are still okay and still viable, still top 4 comps, a lot of reroll and things like that. So I think I can figure my way through.
People at home watching may or may not know, you are an attorney. You are pretty well known, at least in the TFT community. You work with esports law, and again, congratulations! Recently made partner, if I'm not mistaken.
Woohoo.
How do you balance your work and home life and just regular life with playing TFT, casting TFT, just being involved in the game in a high level?
It's super tough. There's only 24 hours in a day, right? And really, most of that gets taken up by sleep and by work. I mean, I worked pretty much like every single minute up until this interview. And then after this interview, I'm going back to work for another probably like half an hour or an hour. And then after that, it's going to be like, I don't know, like 8 o'clock. And I'll have, maybe 4 solid-ish hours to spend with Meowie and also get in some TFT and also eat dinner and all of that good stuff. I think I'll probably just need to live with the possibility that I don't like ever get to my ceiling of what I potentially could be if I had like 20 hours a day to play TFT.
Yeah.
But I'm, just pretty happy with where I am right now, which, I'm happy with my work and my career. I'm happy with my life in general. I'm happy with Maui. And, I'm happy being able to get to master and GM and being able to at least sign up and be semi-competitive in these tournaments, trying to get into official events. If I'm competing, I want to try and get into the official Riot events, play in the cups, play in the trials, play a regional someday.
Sure.
Eventually get the worlds. If I'm casting, I want to cast the official events. See if I can eventually cast worlds one day. That would be super awesome. All of that just kind of depends on whether there's enough time, whether I'm good enough at the game to do that. Until I get to that point, I think it's just having fun and vibing and being able to cast with you at calculated loss and at Aegis events and stuff like that. It's always fun, and I'm happy with that experience and happy being able to do that. Shout outs, I think, to you for running this interview and running the production and casting stuff. Boise is obviously I want to shout out Lawrence. He's not as active now that he has an actual job. But, really grateful for the opportunities that he's provided over the years in Aegis and things like that. And then obviously shout out to Meowie and also to Bryce. I hope he's having a good week off and playing some TF2 this week.